Hey there, I've just realised that on my final day of my holiday I haven't actually done a review of the room, so here goes. As you come through the front door, which is here, you are met by that aircon unit, which is controlled by this slightly temperamental control unit here. In my case, this is really handy, but because I'm sunburnt, so it's keeping me nice and cool. In here we have the bathroom, which is very poorly laid out. So for instance, that there I'm convinced was a bidet point, but they've removed it and placed this toilet here. The sink is too big. It's not very deep, as you can tell by the little thing of antiperspirant I bought. This is the shower, which only has one of these straight head shower units, which is rubbish. The controls on it are so temperamental that it's a bit awkward sometimes to actually get it to work. It constantly steams up in there. I don't even know what that's for. There's mould in the bathroom on most of it. What else? Yeah, hairdryer mugs. That's your fuse board. I don't even know what that is. In here, the main bedroom, you've got the telly, which is just been replaced, and this one is on an arm, so it moves around. However, the cabling for it is visible all the way out to the ceiling, well, near enough to the ceiling, but this point here is just held together by 2 bits of tape. These chairs, you can move them, but not really anywhere else in the room, to be fair. So if you have a little kid, you can easily climb, you'll grab hold of that. These beds are as hard as bricks. For some unknown reason, there's a bed underneath that you can't actually get to, which is completely pointless unless you move all the furniture. Same old epoxy wardrobe and safe, nothing new there, just very few hangers. The lampshades all look like this. They're all covered in some sort of muck or broken inside. Yeah, a bit poor personally. As you can see, that one's got a hole right through it. Yeah, I can actually get my finger through that. I could probably press a bit harder. That's our mirror, and this is me. And like I said, they're all a bit mangy and horrible. The usual crappy picture you get on holiday for no apparent reason, but this is our balcony, which is a standard size, but on the sides all the wood is all rotten or sunburnt, or whatever you like to call it. But this is our actual view, and as you can see, that is the sea. We're about a 10-minute walk, so all we do is we walk down this road or this road here, and it's pretty much just a straight line, and we're there. Actually, getting back to the beds, that's what I meant. These are actually camping beds, and there's 70 rooms. You do the math, and there's 2 in each. And then also to point out, that's how well designed these are. It actually took me 2 attempts to get that back in, because it just would not sit properly. Overall, and there are all these little plates in the ceiling and on the walls, and I have no idea what the hell they're for. There's one there, there's one here, and yes, all these do come off. Overall, the Haiti or Haiti, or however you like to pronounce it, in Camp Picafort in Majorca, if I had to give this marks out of 10, I'd give it about a 4. Completely, because the beds are terrible, the furniture is outdated or broken, the aircon is about as useful as an asthmatic old person blowing through a straw. You can't get a sunbed, even though there are signs up all around saying, I should do it from here. So even though you can have, there's signs up saying, don't. Actually, I'll show you one of them. So this is the list that you get when you arrive. So obviously, blah blah blah, reception desk, bar, blah, 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 dining, swimming pool. Lifeguard duty from 10 till 6. Please don't reserve sunbeds. Okay, now the only thing so far that they have managed to stick to is if you walk in there with wet feet, they will tell you off. So that's fair enough. And obviously you get free drinks and free ice creams, that sort of stuff, blah, blah, blah. But there is a big sign, there's loads of signs up saying, don't reserve beds, don't do before 8 o'clock. Anything before 8 o'clock, they'll get removed. There are people down there at 7:30, sometimes earlier, reserving beds and then pissing off all day, and that really gets on my wick, and I'm not alone on this one. So people just come along, they reserve the beds, go off for the entire day, and then they're like, oh, let's come back to that later. And it's kind of like, if you were come back to that later, you shouldn't have reserved it. Needless to say, and the food's okay. Breakfast is pretty much the same, you know, it's fry up or whatever you like, cereal, that sort of stuff, and toast, blah, blah, blah. Dinner's been a bit repetitive, you know, there's always chips, there's always pasta, and the meat sort of changes, but there's always fish on the menu, and that's basically it. And then you got like, it's actually only about 2 hours for each bit, so I know it sounds like I'm being a bit nitpicky, but not really. The pool's of an alright size. The only thing I can't get used to is the fact that you can still smoke outside. So at one point we just sat down our bed, and then suddenly like 2 or 3 people around us just sparked up, so it's kind of like we had to move because we didn't want to be in that bit. But again, there's not much I can do about that. Yeah, the entertainment last night was karaoke. So even though it was advertised as, you know, there will be entertainment, we don't really class that as entertainment because you know, that's just someone just sitting there putting tracks on and listening to people squalor. The night before we had Xerox, which was like a comedy band of I think it was like 30 or 40 different types of people. So you had people like Lady Gaga, Freddie Mercury, Tina Turner, that sort of stuff. Then before that, we had sort of odds and ends, really. I mean, they're alright, but I won't be coming back to Majorca. Everything is in Magaluf. So if you're going to come to Majorca, go to Magaluf. Don't waste your time. Unless you want nothing to do, absolutely zero to do, come to Camp Picafort. If you want a little bit to do, go to Alcudia. If you want a lot to do, go to Magaluf. We went there yesterday. We went to this place, which is really good, and that was the highlight of our holiday. So, enough said, really. So, I'm going to finish off and go and find the wife, who's downstairs somewhere in the mood with me. I won't tell you why. But apart from that, we'll be jetting back tomorrow. Oh, that was the other thing. Our flight is at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're being picked up at 6 in the morning, which means we've got to get up at 5. And then we're going to basically have an hour's drive, and then an hour of sitting around doing naffle. We can't understand why, and the reps don't even know why, which is never really a good sign. So, we're going through Thompson on this one. I mean, the reps have been good, they know what they're talking about, but if they can't figure out why, then that makes it a bit difficult. So, on this case, I'm going to ring off, and actually, I'll take this down and I'll show you what the pool looks like. So, see you in a minute. Okay, this is coming out of our hotel room. That's our corridor down there, which is really badly stained. These 2 lifts, this one broke down halfway through, but it got repaired within a few hours. That can feed about 8 people, but it's boiling hot. That feeds about 4, and that's actually cooking in there. Neither one of them got any aircon. There's about 3 flights of stairs, as you can see. So I'll be quick. Right, so we come down to the ground floor, which is reception. Our board of many things. This is all the stuff that goes on every day, but doesn't really get told about. enough said. Show you for in a minute. That's the outside. Got the front door. Right. So, that's where we head outside. I'll show you the pool. So that's the pool, which is a bit right. So we're lucky. I know these legs. I know the move. So it's a 5-point marker. Blah blah blah. That is some of the rooms up there, and that's it. Morning. So this is our bar and reception type thing. So the bar here, it's the stage at the back, and you got the telling where we move the football all the time. But out here is the garden pool. So that's the terrace. And it shoots all the way back down there. And obviously it goes to the pool over here. And that's where we were yesterday.